Good morning, good afternoon and good evening all. Welcome to another lecture from the fifth module. In this lecture I am going to discuss about two topics, that is job analysis and job design. Actually, a job analysis is a process of gathering relevant information about various aspects of a job, which includes the contents of the job, the context of performance and the job performance or the skill requirements of the job performer, etc. Job analysis specifies the task involved in a job and the factors that influence the performance of that job. In reality, the job analysis involves ascertaining what people do at the job and understanding why and how they do it. This will enable organization not only to identify the problems but also to develop solutions. The result of job analysis are normally present in the form of job description and job specification. Then coming to job description, actually it is a written statement that describes all aspects of a job. It is the description of the activities and duties to be performed in a job, the relationship of the job with other jobs, the equipment and tools involved, the nature of supervision, the working conditions and hazards and so on. It differentiates one job from another. The contents of a job description are job title, that means the name of the job, then job location, that means where the person needs to perform that job, the summary of the job, the superior to which he is reporting, then the working conditions provided or available for the employees, the duties associated with the job, then machines to be used or the tools and equipments needs to be used by the employee to perform the job, and hazards, etc. Then coming to job specification, actually it is a statement of minimum level of qualifications, skills and physical and other abilities, experience, judgment and attributes required for performing a job effectively. In other words, we can consider job specification as a minimum level of acceptable qualification that is needed by a person to perform a job. It specifies the physical, psychological, personal, social and behavioral characteristics of job holders. And job specification includes the qualifications required by the employees, the experience in the job, the training needed for the employee, the skills requirements or the abilities of the person, the responsibilities associated with the job, the emotional characteristic needed in the employee, and the last one is sensory demands. Then coming to next one, that is process of job analysis or the stages followed in the process of job analysis. And the first stage of job analysis is organizational analysis. The first step in the job analysis process is to determine its purpose. That means we need to define what is the purpose of doing the job analysis. This will enable or this will help to determine what kind of data to collect and how to collect that data. The necessary background information for this step can be collected by using organization chart, process chart, etc. Then after the collection and analysis of the organizational background, then we go to another stage, that is select representative positions. In this stage we will find a number of positions we need to conduct job analysis. Actually, job analysis is a time consuming and costly one for the organization. So it is essential to select a representative sample of job for detailed job analysis. Then another stage, that is collect data. The next step is to collect the job related data such as educational qualification, duties, responsibilities, working conditions, employee behavior, skills and abilities, etc. Data is collected by using methods such as observation, interviews and questionnaire. Okay, you can consider this method of methods like personal observation, interviews and questionnaires as the methods of job analysis too. Then next stage, that is review of collected data. A job analysis report is prepared by using the gathered data. The information is then verified with the worker performing and their supervisor. In this stage, the organization will try to review analyze the collected data by using different types of methods, and they will try to verify the collected data by comparing that data with the performance of the job holder and with supervisor or the superiors. Then coming to next stage, that is developing job description. After the analysis and review of the collected data, the organization is used to develop a written statement known as job description. Job description is a document that describes the responsibilities, working condition, location, risk and task required for effective job performance. Then coming to the last stage, that is developing job specification. The final step in the process is to develop the job specification. Job specification and job descriptions are two tangible products of the job analysis process. Job specification is a statement of personal traits, education qualification, experience, background and skills needed to perform a job. Okay, these are the stages of process of job analysis. Actually, job analysis start from organizational analysis. That means the organization first of all will analyze the background of the organization, or they will try to collect the internal information from within the organization. Then coming to select representative positions. In this state, the organization will try to identify a few number of job positions which they need to conduct job analysis, because conducting of job analysis for each and every jobs in the organization is a costly process for the organization. So they will find the essential or the most important job for the analysis process. Then next stage is collection of data. In this stage they will collect required information related to that job from different sources by using different methods like personal observation, interviews with the employees or the workers and questionnaires. Next stage is review of collected data. In this stage, the organization will prepare a report based on the collected data, and the information is verified with the worker performing the job and the supervisor of the worker. Then next stage is developing job description and job specification. You know that job description is a statement prepared by the organization which explains the responsibilities, working conditions, location in which they are performing the job, task or the duties to be performed, etc. And job specification means the minimal level of acceptable qualification required by an individual to perform a job. Okay, these are the stages of job analysis. The next topic is job design. Creating a job design is the succeeding stage to job analysis. As you know, job analysis provides information about the skills and competency required to perform job efficiently. The HR managers have realized that designing of the job has considerable influence on productivity and job satisfaction. Thus, job design is an attempt to create a match between the job requirements and available human resource attributes. Job design is defined as it is a process of deciding on the contents of a job in terms of its duties and responsibilities, on the methods to be used in carrying out the job in terms of techniques, systems and procedures, and on the relationship that should exist between the job holder, his superiors, subordinates and colleagues. Okay, this is job designing. Then coming to the need for job design, why we are conducting or why we are designing a job for the organization. Then first one is facilitating the interest of employees towards the job and enhancing their satisfaction. That means a well-defined job or well-designed job will provide job satisfaction to the workers or the job performers. Then increasing employee motivation and productivity. It will help the organization to improve the motivation level of the employee and increase their productivity. Then enhancing employees' skill by identifying their training needs. The job designing will help the organization to identify the training needs of the employees. Then covering the modern needs of employee participation. Actually, job designing is done on the basis of the job performers. They are trying to make it easy for the person who is performing or acceptable for the person who is performing the job. By following this method, it will help an organization to ensure the participation of the employees in the activities of the organization. Then ensure safe working environment. It will help an organization to provide safe working conditions or working environment for the employees in the organization. Then making the communication process clear and effective in the organization. It will help the organization to improve the quality of working life of the employees. Then eliminating the unnecessary levels of supervision, checking and control. Then establishing high level of standard for customer service. Then last one is minimizing the cost by reducing the wastage. Okay, these are the reason for conducting job designing in an organization. Then coming to methods or techniques of job designing. There are various methods in which job designing can be carried out. This method helps to analyze the job, to design the contents of the job and to decide how the job must be carried out. The first method of job designing is job rotation. Job rotation involves shifting a person from one job to another so that he is able to understand and learn what each job involves. The company tracks his performance on every job and decides whether he can perform the job in an ideal manner. Based on this, he is finally given a particular posting. That means job rotation is a method of shifting an employee from one job to another job in the organization in order to find the most suitable job for the employee. Advantages of job rotation are: avoid monopoly, provides an opportunity to broaden one's knowledge, and avoiding fraudulent practices. Then the limitations of job rotation are: frequent interruption, reduced uniformity in quality, misunderstanding with the union member, etc. Then coming to the second method, that is job enlargement. Job enlargement is another method of job design. When any organization wishes to adopt proper job designing, it can opt for job enlargement. Job enlargement involves combining various activities at the same level in the organization and adding them to the existing job. That means job enlargement is simply a process of adding more number of duties to a single job from the same level of operation. It increases the scope of the job. It also called the horizontal expansion of job activities. It is so called because the organization will try to add more number of jobs or duties to a single job from the level in which the manager or the employee is working, not the job of the higher officials. Then the advantages of job enlargement: it will help an organization or employee to improve their skills, then improve earning capacity of the employee, then wide range of activities. That means they can perform a more number of jobs in a single designation. Then the disadvantages or the limitations: increases work burden. You know that job enlargement is simply adding more number of duties or activities to a single job. It will definitely increase the burden on the job performers. Then increasing frustration of the employee. Then the last one is problem with the union members. Then coming to the third method of job designing, that is job enrichment. Job enrichment is a term given by Frederick Hertzberg. According to Hertzberg, that means adding of motivating factors to an existing job to make it more interesting. Job enrichment gives a lot of freedom to the employees, but at the same time it increases the responsibility. Actually, job enrichment means adding more number of duties with more responsibility to a single job. That means the assistant manager of an organization will get some duties from the higher officials. That means a manager of that department, he needs to perform some job of the manager too. That means job enrichment will increase the responsibility of the job performers, and it is a vertical enlargement of the activities of an organization, or vertical enlargement of the job. The difference between job enlargement and job enrichment are: in case of a job enlargement, the organization will try to increase the number of duties associated with a single job, and they are increasing the number of duties by adding jobs on the same level of operation. But in case of a job enrichment, the organization will try to increase the responsibility of the job performer by giving the duties from higher levels to his position. That means, for example, in case of job enrichment, the assistant manager of an organization will get the authority or the responsibilities of the manager of the organization to perform some job in the organization. But in case of job enlargement, the production manager will get some duties of the purchase manager in the organization. That is job enlargement. When the purchase manager needs to perform some duties of the managing director, that will be considered as job enrichment. That's why they are considering job enlargement as a horizontal expansion of job, and job enrichment as a vertical expansion of the job. Then coming to the advantages of job enrichment, it will help an organization to make the job interesting and challenging for the employees. Then it will improve the decision making of the organization. Then the last one is identifies future managerial caliber. That means it will help an organization to identify the caliber of the employees to, or the managers to, become the higher officials in the organization or promoted to the higher positions in the organization. Then the limitations. Job enrichment is based on the assumption that workers have complete knowledge to take decisions and they have the right attitude. In reality, this might not be case, due to which there can be problems in working. Then job enrichment has negative implications, that is, along with the usual work decision making, work is also given to employees and not many may be comfortable with this. Superiors may feel that powers is being taken away from them and given to the juniors. This might also lead to ego problems. Then coming to the next topic, that is factors influencing job designing. In this topic we are going to discuss about the things an organization needs to consider before they are designing a job. First one is requirements of the enterprise. An organization needs to design their job based on the requirements of the organization. The requirements may be the overall objectives of the organization, the strategy of the organization, the availability of the resources, the policy of the organization, the rules and regulations associated with the organization, etc. Then individual differences. That means the organization needs to understand or need to consider the job performance or the feeling of the job performance before they are designing a job for them. Then the technology involved. An organization needs to identify the technology they need to use for the performance of the job. Then the costs associated with the restructuring of the job. Then the organizational climate or the culture of the organization and the organization structure. These are the factors an organization needs to consider before going for job designing. These are the topics we need to discuss about job analysis and job designing. Okay, thank you.